tomorrow I'll send back um, vessels again to transport persons out and to bring more supplies. But everywhere I go, I'm optimistic with people about building back. They say we're almost near universal. They say we're dependent on you. We're relying on you. And the isolation complicates the problem. But we have to get the cleanup going, and we have to begin to mobilize.
But she would have said if Ralph Gonzalez want to take legal action, he is free to do so. Ladies and gentlemen, that right there is an endorsement of the attacks of Ralph Gonzalez by the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. A man that would have stand up for his people. We are seeing now the UNC government is engaging in scathing attacks on Ralph Gonzalez. His wife, his children,
of Canawan, Nairo, and Union Island from the air. sustain any felony. That's what we aim for.
Less.
Good evening to the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes, good evening. Well, I mean, fearless, you can't stop just so, because at the end of the day, we was trying to make this thing take we over 20
let's jump
minutes.
straight
But
into it. I see we talking about the drunkard. And I end up jumping over to YouTube. I paused just sorry. Am I paused or am I running?
Yeah.
No, my camera like pause a little bit.
Well, now you're running now. You're running.
Oh, yeah. Well, I saw the drunkard video a little bit, and then I saw you're showing what was happening with Ralph Gonzalez and what he was doing in St. Vincent and stuff. But go ahead, Redison, I'm here.
No, the reason why I would have showed that clip concerning Ralph Gonzalez, no way Anil Roberts could walk in the man's shoes. But yet still the man had the worst of the worst thing to say about Ralph Gonzalez.
Mm-hmm.
And to see that the Prime Minister of this country would have made a press release stating to Ralph Gonzalez, if he want to go to court, he could go ahead. That show that the attack from Anil Roberts have been certified by Kamla Prasad Bisesa. And we have to ask the question, why? Why is our Prime Minister, why is she doing that? Why she go put Ralph Gonzalez's children in danger?
Mm-hmm.
Because I would have heard in the grapevine that the people and them, they are frightened for their lives.
Yes.
And as a commentator, he's a person, I wanted to say 2 cents on this, because I'm in utter disgust concerning what has been seen with Anil. Because every time we see him on social media attacking people left, right, and center. And we want to know, well, wait now, what she really had this man there for? And now we are seeing that she's agreeing. And I want to know if going forward within the future, that the people of Trinidad and Tobago, anytime they say something, if she's going to let loose Anil Roberts on them.
Well, you have to remember that is where she have the patong, who is the T-string panty man, and then she also has the narcissistic fella
Mm-hmm.
who also works in the ministry, and then she had the drunk man. So you have drunkard, street string, and also you have the narcissistic fella who believes he's the best spin doctor. But you had to take into consideration too. You see, the reason why I didn't say anything on the matter for a long while is because one, I am also a HDC homeowner. I am a HDC homeowner, and I do hide nothing, you know. Because when they hide their thing and they come out in the public domain, everybody will be like, "Oh, what he think this, that, the other?" Yes, I am a HDC homeowner, and I have realized that if he could do that to them, if Anna Roberts could do that to them, and by exposing their business in the road, putting all not just the business alone, no, but putting all the private documents, the bank account, every single thing in the public domain, then I, as a homeowner, what is me to say that they are willing to put my private information in the public domain for the world to see, so that any Tom, Dick, and Harry could come after me and say, well, okay, how much money you have in your bank account? How much money you have in this? How much money you have in that? How much money you're making? This woman is making people's life a security risk. And by not putting a stop to it, by firing Anna Roberts, she is actually condoning and she's also becoming an accomplice to the crime that he has committed. And as a man who is working in the ministry, he's a permanent secretary. He comes like a permanent secretary in the Ministry of Housing because he's a minister in the Ministry of Housing.
Mm-hmm.
He's not the substantive minister. And for he to take people private documents, even though it's a government institution, but they conducted a private transaction with that institution and bring it out in the public domain as a minister in the Ministry of Housing, which is a permanent secretary. Did the minister or the permanent secretary, substantive permanent secretary for the Ministry of Housing, authorize Anil Roberts to take people documents out of the ministry and bring it in the public domain on his platform, in which he is also an employee of the ministry? Did he get permission to do that? Did he get permission to do that? And why is the Prime Minister waiting so long to fire Anil Roberts for stealing documents from the Ministry of Housing? Because I test, you know. That is theft. He took the documents, and who authorized him to remove those documents from off? Because he can't say nobody send him the document because he's working in the ministry.
Right,
So
right,
you have
right,
to
right.
be acknowledged to those information.
Right. So we're trying to say that he steal the document. We're saying, no,
He
you're trying
stole
to
the
say.
documents. He stole the documents with the intention to bust a mark. But like he didn't read all the documents properly because he didn't see the ID card in the document. Like he didn't see certain things that would have been attached to the document to say that this document, that these people who purchased the house are Trinidadians. And the reason why they purchased the house in Trinidad is because of what would have happened in St. Vincent. The house get mashed up. And these houses were being sold on the open market, meaning that any Tom, Dick, and Harry who have the money could come and buy it. So whether it's a 1%er, a 0%er, a 100%er, you could buy the house on the market. So what Anna Roberts did is stole the documents from the Ministry of Housing, brought it to the public domain, so himself take the documents for himself, and as a so-called media journalist, reporter, whatever he want to call himself, busting his own making the news. So he make the news, create the news, and bringing the news to you. So he, eh?
Yeah, well,
So he is everything
well,
in one.
well,
So he is
I know you give
minister,
my,
journalist,
I know you give
everything
my
in one.
journalist play.
He eats out everybody.
I know you give my
So
journalist play.
he creating the news and busting the news at the same time.
I
So
I know you
then
give my
that
journalist
criminal,
play.
he is proclaimed to be a journalist and a reporter, but he's selling pillory and doubles. So I don't know which one it is. He can't be wanting to be a doubles and a pillory seller, and you still want to be working in the ministry. Which one it is? You understand, Renison?
Yeah, I understand. And you see, the man is attacking people. The man is attacking people all over the place. The man attacking people. And we wanted to know for the longest while why this man keep on attacking people. So on social media, is Anil Roberts getting paid to attack people? And if we are seeing that Kamala Prasad Bisesa agreeing with the attacks on little children, you understand? God only knows, because when the Venezuelans the other day say that she's a criminal, people wanted to know. This year, Anil Roberts didn't just go against Ralph Gonzalez, you know. He bust mark against the man children too, you know.
Yeah.
And trying to paint a perception as the man, like if the man defraud Trinidad and Tobago, you know. He get it.
Not only just defraud.
And here what David Lyda saying, you can hear it, you know, that the man pay for the price of these things and them under market value. That is the perception that the UNC selling within the public domain.
Well, not just defrauding, no, but as though he committed a criminal act by stealing the money from St. Vincent and siphoning it down to Trinidad. So that money laundering, you're trying to implicate the man in it. To purchase the house, to cover off where we're doing the people money. Because apparently the people in St. Vincent didn't know that Ralph Gonzalez, who have a wife in Trinidad, who have a wife who's a Trinidadian, purchased the house down here. The two children purchased houses also. So he tried to make it look as though the people, the man take the people of St. Vincent money to
Trinidad
buy
and Tobago, and especially to the more than 100.
When the man's wife actually is a Trinidadian and she's entitled to purchase a property in Trinidad.
And you see, fearless. I put this video up on the screen there. Right? I wait to see that video. You see, people feeling that this thing is a joke. Now, if you're here with David Lyda say he make it.
Trinidad and Tobago, and especially to the more than 100,000 citizens who are patiently waiting in line to get approval on HDC homes. Many of you would have seen and been in shock where you see on social media where Minister Anil Roberts, the Minister of Housing, Minister in the Ministry of Housing, exposed the fact that family members of the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, namely his wife, his son and his daughter, were able to purchase government-subsidized $1 million HDC homes. Now, you would have seen back and forth between the Prime Minister, and you would have also seen a number of documents floating around social media. Documents which I have here in my hand here now. And I took the opportunity, given that my mother, who was a real estate...
Now, where David Lyda really saying in a nutshell, I'm fearless. I know you just tell me you're in here too. Where David Lyda saying in a nutshell, and the picture that David Lyda trying to paint is that Ralph Gonzalez buy the house under market value.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing you was hearing from Anil Roberts' lives, and them he do plenty. And what is implicating the man in is a conspiracy, because every time I hear him, he's saying that Rowley partner, that Rowley boy. he implicated the man in a conspiracy to defraud the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, because Rowley, if Rowley sell, let me put it as that, if Keith Christopher Rowley sell Ralph Gonzalez a house underneath market value, which means the stealing from the citizens. So the man didn't just play the doubles, the man who's selling Polori, Anil, he didn't just come out with papers in it. He trying to implicate the man in a crime, in corruption. So when people saying that this man have to get charged, and he not just did that in he put the man's children on the firing line.
Well, it's not only Trinidad, he tried to create and paint the picture that he committed a crime, you know. He also tried to create a picture as though he defrauded the people of St. Vincent the money and siphoning it down to Trinidad to purchase property under market value. Because where the money come from, he trying to paint in the picture of the picture into people's mind that Ralph Gonzalez taking away money from St. Vincent and buying house for his wife and children down in Trinidad to make it look like though the man involved in some kind of corrupted deal from St. Vincent. And the man is a corrupted leader. You see, what Anil Roberts and them failed to do is go and check the facts properly. But what they want to do is work with the opposition who is wearing the same yellow. So they tell themselves, Kamala Persad-Bissessar don't have the support from Ralph Gonzalez. So let me go to the opposition. And as it's election time, we will go and work with them opposition in St. Vincent, because them is yellow. We go support them, we go help them, and when we help them and they get into office, they will now support we with the so-called war that we festering with the United States of America to go and invade a sovereign nation to bomb the people and them to get their minerals and their resources. That is what's going on, you know. That is what's going on.
This thing real different. And you see, it must be particularly frightening to the people at Trinidad and Tobago, because watch, today Slimy would have done a show earlier on where he would have done a live and the team was behind him for him to finish up. You understand? We basically rush him into it. And what Keith Rowley would have said, it sent shockwave through Trinidad and Tobago. Where he would have explained that plenty of our oil and gas and thing is coming just about 6 miles off Venezuela coast.
Yeah.
And the serious, far-reaching implication that could have on us because of the alignment of Kamala Persad-Bissessar and this government, and the U.S. government, Donald Trump. And showing to us the position that Kamala Persad-Bissessar would have taken and how it could destroy this country. Because it's not only me alone. I thought I was hearing nonsense when Sean Sobers talked. I say, boy, what kind of nonsense could be passed as statement within the public domain? Conjecture. This is conjecture. 2 people get bummed up and people is asking for the facts. How come? You see, for a lawyer, Sean Sobers is playing, how did I say, verbal, intellectual gymnastics with people. When you shift the burden of proof and saying, well, you have to go and report it to the station, we don't know if they really bomb up. And the U.S. releasing thousands of, hundreds of reports. all the time. They just kill three. They just bomb up somebody outside it. And when people are saying, hey, my son, 2 Trinidadians get caught up in that, all of a sudden, all of them turn drug lords. They're in drugs. We here in this country is still holding on to a dream that the UNC sell us. And if any one of you outside there in listen to the press conference from Keith Rowley, I suggest or you go back through it and dissect it within parts. Slimy already did it today. We go back through it again tomorrow because we have our next show. Seeing that we pan out this problem here. If it is tomorrow, fearless, that we think we got to run it like this. Yeah, we got to run it like this.
Yeah, we gotta do it. We gotta do it like this tomorrow. There no problem. But let me just go back to where you said just now, then. With the whole thing with the gas deal and Sean Sobers and all them and take this thing to the police and all them dotishness. You have 2 persons who would have been murdered. Well, one person apparently kind of survived. I don't think he died. And he was seeking medical treatment. We haven't heard anything what happened to the man as yet. We don't know what's going on. But we still trying to find out all the information on that individual. But one of the fellas, he's from Las Vegas, and he would have died in the whole bombing exercise. Do you know, Relison? I got to find out that somebody in this administration is threatening the family from going to the Colombian, because remember the Colombians and the Colombian president called on this particular family to come forward so that they could put together the rest of the information and the case to go to the International Criminal Court to bring Kamala up in the International Criminal Court. Somebody in this administration is blocking the family and threatening the family that if they go forward, things could happen to them. Relison?
What were you really saying, by?
Relison, the family of this man who died, who was on his way to Trinidad, the man would have bombed this boat that left 20 minutes. They say it's 20 minutes off from Venezuela. The man was heading up from Venezuela to come up from the southern part of Venezuela to the southern part of Trinidad to head up to the north coast. That boat was bombed. And the family is being told by somebody in this administration, if you come forward, things could happen to you. That is why the family is afraid to come forward and go to the embassy, the Colombian embassy, so that the Colombian president could gather the information and put together the information to carry to the International Criminal Court to bring Kamala up on international war crimes and also crimes against humanity. Because Kamala Prasad Bissessa is the one who said, bomb them violently. So she gave the orders to bomb them violently. And this administration is blocking. Somebody in this administration is threatening the family. I am being told not to come forward or else things could happen to you. I don't know if the things could happen to the person and the family, but the family is afraid to come forward to even go and make a report in the police station. Imagine that. And your family died in a bombing, but you're afraid to come forward. Why is that? Well, son, let me tell you something. They feel it's joking. Somebody must be held accountable for this action that took place. And the nearly how much? 70-something 70-something people who would have died on these boats without a judge, a jury. They never face a judge, they never face a jury, they never reach a police station, they was bombed because somebody gave the orders to kill them violently. Think about it.
Watch me. You keep on registering that bomb them violently thing, but yeah. I'm fearless, boy. Wait, sir.
I'm telling you.
When you say that, it running chills up my spine. I'm being real with you. When you tell me
Well,
that way, you know, say they running chills up my spine. Because we know who say bomb them violently.
well, it's the leader of the country, the prime minister of the country. And people like the afraid to tell Kamala what she said is you could give the orders. Whereas soon you could tell a man to go and do something without pushing the button. You know that, right? You could give the orders to a man to go and commit a crime without pushing the button or pulling the trigger. Because you tell the people, you said it 3 times, you didn't say it once, and then so you know it was a mistake. You said it twice, you said it 3 times to confirm. Bomb them violently. Imagine that, or kill them violently. So when you killing people violently, we're telling them, Kamala have any bombs to drop any to blow up any boat?
No, she giving the order to the US.
Okay. So anybody who want to be held before the courts of Trinidad and Tobago, not Trinidad and Tobago, but the international court, because they say it was bombed in the international waters when they know for a fact they have no international waters in the Caribbean because everybody's splitting up a piece of the Caribbean waters. Where the international waters in the Caribbean seas? Where it is? Kamala and them feel people dotish. Sobers and them realize the Bamsi quaking because anytime Kamala fall, all of them who complicit with the crime will also face the consequences and have to make a jail too. And if they feel that because Kamala old, she can't go and get the death penalty, she could damn well face the death penalty, just like how the Philippine president facing the death penalty right now in the International Criminal Court. Because it's war crimes. That is crimes against humanity. And Kamala, as a lawyer, should know better. But you notice the Law Association of Trinidad and Tobago ain't saying nothing. Yeah, no, we had to do this program, we had to continue this program tomorrow, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it had to continue because the people have to know the truth that's taking place within this country, no matter what it takes, a matter of fact. Because there are people outside there that trying to block what's going on here, you know. There are people want people to be foolish, you know, because they would have seen the effects of people being foolish in this election that just passed. So when you have one set of people only talking and trying to gang rape you all on social media, Philip and Anil Roberts included, that drunkard. And Anil Roberts are saying it here without contradiction, without fear of contradiction. Anil Roberts, the attacks that he does measure out on the public is blessed by Kamala Prasad Bisesa. Kamala blessing it. Because she would have said, fearless, that if Ralph Gonzalez wanted to take the UNC to court, they could go ahead. Which means she agree with Anil Roberts. Anil Roberts' action have Kamala blessings. Let's not make no mistake about that.
But who paying for it?
We, the citizen.
Who paying
coffee. Recently, I find a CARICOM leader, the current Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the Honorable Ralph Gonsalves. I find he was a bit undiplomatic, inappropriate, very disrespectful of the current Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Kamla Persad Bissessa, as she tries to keep her country safe, uphold her promises to the people to allow them to live in our beautiful Twin Island state with safety and security. A major tenet of that plan is crippling the narco trade, the narco terrorists, the cocaine trade, the drug trade, the gun trade, and the human trafficking trade that has plagued our beloved country of Trinidad and Tobago, making blood flow in the streets. So Kamla Persad Bissessa is against drug traffickers, cocaine traffickers, gun smugglers, and human traffickers. But the Honorable Ralph Gonsalves, with a sort of fervor that baffled me, was disrespectful and attacked Kamla Persad Bissessa, calling her misguided and stating that CARICOM needed leaders that are statesman-like and woman-like, stateswoman-like. I wondered where this passion and this disrespectful attitude came from with Ralph Gonsalves. Listening to him as he addressed some UE forum and other places, I saw him maybe sounding like Keith Rowley or the PNM. And I wondered, why would this man be beholden to the PNM? Why would he be talking with venom against the United National Congress?
Look, celebrity. Look, we're going to take a picture here. I know. I know. Come and say, look. Hi, Anil.
How are you going?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, nice day.
Nice meeting you. Enjoy your carnival.
Yeah.
I know. I know.
Yo.
Look, celebrity. Look, we're going to take a picture here. I know. I know. Come and say, look. Hi, Anil.
How are you going?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, nice day.
Nice meeting you. Enjoy your carnival.
Yeah.
Of Canawan, Nairo, and Union Island from the air. Buildings are gone. The building of the terminal of the airport, that's tomorrow I'll send back vessels again to transport persons out and to bring in more supplies. But everywhere I go, I'm optimistic with people about building back. They say we're almost near universal. They say we're dependent on you. We're relying on you. And the isolation complicates the problem. But we have to get the cleanup going, and we have to begin to mobilize the builders. We have to put tents for people to stay in while
Political malice has started against my family. But if the NDP gets in, it ends with you and your family. They are attacking Grace Walters viciously, and now they're lying about us. Here's the truth. While I love St. Vincent and the Grenadines with all my heart, I was born in Trinidad, and I am Trinidadian with roots in Dominica. After my then 90-year-old mother's property was destroyed in Hurricane Maria, we as a family invested in property in Trinidad, where two of my mother's sons, my brothers, and her grandchildren reside. We bought the apartments at market rate after our family suffered a tragedy. Soon these wicked men will expose a contract for an immensely qualified engineer who is building our modern hospital, which the NDP would destroy. These power-hungry people will stop at nothing to destroy all the good that SVG represents. Ask yourself, if these wicked men are willing to demonize our family, put the modern hospital at risk, and ruin our country's reputation, what would they be willing to do to you and your family if they get in?
Doubles and coffee. Recently, I find a CARICOM leader, the current Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Doubles and coffee. Ralph, you shouldn't sing no dancehall, boy. You should sing soca. Do back on we, do back, Ralph. You start a back up and say you never attack Kamla Prasad's sister, that you're very diplomatic. Anyway, Ralph, me dealing with you today, you know. Let me deal with Mr. Storm in a teacup. Storm in a teacup. You going to sue Anil Roberts? Storm in a teacup. You must learn who you're battling first. Anil Roberts' mother is a lawyer, father is a lawyer, older brother is a lawyer, Oxford, Harvard, younger brother is a lawyer, sister is a lawyer, and my son is a lawyer, and I is a bush lawyer. Me not afraid court, boy. Furthermore, you can't sue when man talk the truth, Storm in a teacup. So hold on that purchase of Bitcoin. You're rather bougie elitist. You're talking about Bitcoin? Going to get Bitcoin from who? Me? Anil don't lie on nobody. Ask Rowley. Ask Smallpin. Ask Farris. Ask Foster. Ask Gadsby Dolly once you get off the red couch. Ask all of them. Anil don't lie on people, boy, Storm. So here what to do? Storm in a teacup. Storm Gonzalez. Before you sue and all them things, answer some simple questions now. One, what was your monthly income back when you applied to purchase this HDC Victoria Keys unit? What was your monthly income, your real monthly income? Show we. Secondly, how much income tax have you paid in Trinidad and Tobago while working and operating here in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago as a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago with a passport? How much tax have you paid? Please tell the Douglas. Let me know. Come on, man. Show the records. Don't talk. But court, who you're afraid? Look at me, storming a teacup. I'm so afraid. Furthermore, do you have a BIR number? That's a Board of Inland Revenue number, you see? You mightn't have known because, well, boy, if you never pay tax, you wouldn't know. Board of Inland Revenue number. What is it? Or not what is it? I don't want to know what is it. Do you have one? Or when did you get it? And why then, on this form, when they asked you for your BIR number, it was left blank? Then you have to ask, and the officials at HDC have to answer also, how could somebody, Newman George, Brent Lyons, PNM HDC officials, who has no BIR number, purchase a HDC house from the Housing Corporation of Trinidad and Tobago? So Stormy a teeth cop, you answer them questions for me, right? And good luck. Now, let me deal with the real boss. 6-star general. You boasted about you some 6-star general.
Now that was Anil Roberts' day.
In Trinidad and Tobago, and World Cup 2014, especially being hosted in Brazil, is a serious issue. So serious is it that the Prime Minister, the Honorable Kamala Persad-Bissessar, gave me an instruction last year, I believe it was in October, that we were to support our football soccer warriors as they are Brazil bound to the hilt as much as was necessary. As you would understand, certain things had to be put in place first with regards to accountability, transparency, to ensure that we get value for money. So it took some time, but I must commend the TTFF for listening to the concerns of the ministry and the government and installing an authorization committee consisting of some of the most qualified, respected members of society in finance, in accounts, in marketing, in event management, in planning, to run and to account for the funds that your government, the People's Partnership government, is going to put into football to get us Brazil-bound 2014. This is the first time.
We are not fearful of any backlash. I also don't wish to say that I don't believe him, but we have to act on the basis of evidence. But his conviction was not overturned on the merits. It was overturned on the basis of juror misconduct, so that the credibility and reliability of the evidence led against him at trial was not in any way undermined. And the Jamaican Court of Appeal, who decided not to order a retrial, did so on public policy considerations, and their decision in no way affected the creditworthiness or reliability of the evidence led at trial. So,
the Anil Roberts life sport case, timeline, legal arguments and outcome. Background and events. In 2012, under the People's Partnership government, then Minister of Sport Anil Roberts launched the Life Sport Programme, a bold initiative meant to uplift at-risk youth and steer them away from crime. But what began with hope and promise quickly spiraled into one of Trinidad and Tobago's most painful national scandals. Life sport didn't just collapse, it crumbled under the weight of corruption, criminal infiltration, and horrifying mismanagement. Over 2 short years, the program hemorrhaged nearly $400 million in public funds, money meant to save lives, instead lost to what police sources linked to a surge in gang-related murders. Lives were lost. Trust was shattered. And the people paid the ultimate price. In July 2014, the scandal erupted into full view. An explosive audit by the Ministry of Finance's Central Audit Committee, CAC, exposed deep cracks. Unapproved payments, ghost participants, and shocking breaches of financial protocols. Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar had no choice but to shut down life sport. The findings were so grave, so damning, that the report was laid in Parliament. Shortly after, Anil Roberts resigned in disgrace and disappeared from public life. Legal proceedings and arguments. Judicial review of the audit report. But the story didn't end there. In a stunning legal twist, in November 2014, Ashwin Creed, then Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Sport, and 3 life sport directors fought back. They filed for judicial review, challenging the audit report's legality and the very process used to expose the scandal. Their core argument? They weren't given a fair shot. They claimed they were ambushed, never informed of adverse findings before the report went public. Their right to natural justice was violated. They were silenced before they could speak. The audit committee overstepped its bounds and shattered their legitimate expectations. High Court ruling. On October 24, 2016, the High Court sided with them. Justice Myra Dinama delivered a painful blow, not to the allegations themselves, but to the process by which they were aired. Her ruling thundered. The Central Audit Committee comprising the defendants infringed the claimant's right to natural justice in relation to the conduct of the audit into the life sport program. The failure to specifically inform the claimants before the making and/or publishing of the audit report was done in breach of the claimant's right to be heard and/or is procedurally unfair. The court quashed the audit report, declaring it fatally flawed because those named were denied a fair hearing. The state was ordered to pay legal costs. It was a procedural triumph, but not a moral one. Aftermath and misconceptions about vindication. Political and public reaction. Anil Roberts emerged from the shadows, fists raised, claiming vindication. At UNC rallies and press briefings, he boomed that the judgment proved his innocence, that the scandal was nothing more than a political witch hunt. Kamla Persad-Bissessar stood by him, suggesting the judgment cleared the way for his return to public life. But what was the truth? Attorney General's clarification. Then Attorney General Faris Al-Rawi gave the public a sobering reminder this ruling was not an acquittal. It did not clear anyone of wrongdoing. It did not declare anyone innocent. It simply said the audit process was flawed, that people weren't given a chance to defend themselves before being named. The judgment didn't erase the allegations, it couldn't touch them. They remained raw and unresolved in the hands of the police. There was nothing in the law of the judgment to block criminal probes. The substance of the allegations are there. They're very actionable and they are with the respective authorities and are being acted upon. Deja explains the events and legal outcome. Let's cut through the noise. The life sport scandal wasn't about a man being found innocent in a courtroom. It was about a broken system, a betrayal of public trust, and lives endangered by a program that spiraled out of control. The High Court didn't say Anil Roberts was innocent. It said the report accusing him was published without due process, that it was unfair to drop such bombshells without giving him a chance to respond. That's not vindication. That's a technicality. Roberts and his allies may have spun it as a legal victory. But it was not a moral one. The police probe continued. The allegations of corruption, criminal connections, and public funds gone missing remained intact. The Attorney General made it clear the fight for justice was far from over. Conclusion. The life sport case wasn't about exoneration. It was about procedural fairness. Yes, the audit report was quashed, but not because the allegations were false. It was because the accused weren't given a voice before the public judgment. Let no one twist that into innocence. Anil Roberts' so-called vindication was a smokescreen, a distraction from the core issue. $400 million of taxpayers' money vanished under his watch. Communities still bear the scars. Families still grieve lives lost in the violence the program was said to fuel. And to this day, justice for the people remains painfully unfinished.
National Security Minister Stuart Young has yet another concern, this time about the presence of former Sport Minister Anil Roberts at UNC meetings. At a press conference on Wednesday, the minister said there's credible information that Mr. Roberts has aligned himself with gang members from the East-West corridor and believes his reappearance is meant to affect the outcome of local government elections.
I am cautioning that it appears as though there is a plan to utilize the criminal elements in our society to influence the outcome of voting in the local government election.
Minister Roberts was spotted at recent UNC political meetings.
The opposition leader says as far as she is aware, UNC Senator Anil Roberts is not under any police investigation. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley, commenting on Roberts' appointment this week, claimed that the senator who oversaw the controversial life sport program and is still engaging police attention found favor with Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar. But speaking to reporters during the ceremonial opening of Parliament on Friday, the opposition leader said Mr. Roberts was never implicated in any investigation.
Entire audit report, there was nothing in that audit report which made any allegations against Anil Roberts or found him guilty of any such behavior. There was a court matter. It was not Anil Roberts who brought the court matter. The court matter was brought by Ashwin Creed, I think, the PS, challenging the validity of a report that was not based on natural justice. So Anil Roberts was nowhere implicated in the report itself, nor did Anil Roberts have to go to court.
Mrs. Persad-Bissessar adds that she has no knowledge of any of her members being under investigation and questioned whether any government members are.
Of any of the senators on the investigation, I'm not aware of any of the House members on, I don't know. Those are police matters, and unless there is hard evidence of any wrongdoing, we'll deal with it. There are other members of the House who are on the investigation as well. In the same way, you could say that my members are on the investigation. How do you know that members of the other side are not on the investigation? How do we know that?
The UNC leader says if there is any such investigation of any member of parliament, then that is a matter to engage the attention of the police.
But his conviction was not overturned on the merits. It was overturned on the basis of juror misconduct, so that the credibility and reliability of the evidence led against him at trial was not in any way undermined. And the Jamaican Court of Appeal, who decided not to order a retrial, did so on public policy considerations, and their decision in no way affected the creditworthiness or reliability of the evidence led at trial. So,
Government has moved a motion of privilege against UNC Senator Anil Roberts for statements he made in the public domain against President of the Senate, Christine Kangaloo. The motion was brought by Leader of Government Business in the Senate, Franklin Cann, on Tuesday. He said during a broadcast of the program Douglas Politics, Senator Roberts used satirical subtext to allege that in the discharge of her duties as presiding officer, the President of the Senate is biased towards him. Senator Cann said there are respectable and dignified ways to challenge the rule of the Senate and the decisions of the chair. He said Senator Roberts has brought the Senate as a whole into public ridicule.
I submit that the Senator has committed a most egregious contempt of this esteemed Senate. And in this regard, Madam President, I move that this matter be referred to the Committee of Privileges for investigation and report. I beg to move.
The Senate President referred the matter for the consideration of the Vice President of the Senate. Last week, Senator Roberts was put out of the Senate after he was asked to apologize for comments he made in the chamber.